Hey everyone, so for my critique of the journal article, I used the library's website and the ERIC database to find the article Preparing Children for Success, Integrating Science, Math, and Technology in Early Childhood Classrooms. And this article was published in the Early Childhood Development and Care Journal on February 16, 2016. And the authors of the article are Hengame Karani and Jael Aldemeyer. I really hope I pronounced those right. But anyway, in this article, the first half, they really focus on the literature behind the subject of how students learn best at this age through play and discovery learning and an integration of subjects and not just strictly science being taught or math being taught or introducing technology, but integrating it all into one, and how opinions about these subjects are often formed in the early years. And so if students have a positive outlook on these subjects when they're younger, they're more likely to have a positive outlook as they grow, mature in their learning throughout the years. And so this is really a vital age for students to be introduced to these concepts. And so what they did was the study focused basically on if meaningful math, science, technology integrated lessons would benefit students' learning and knowledge of these subjects in low socioeconomic settings. So they chose a public pre-K school in North Carolina, and they mostly serve families that are considered low socioeconomic families, and it was 4 classrooms, 4 teachers, and 58 students total. So they split the 4 classrooms up into 2 different groups. So we had the experiment group and the control group. And so the control group obviously just stayed the same, did what they were doing. The experiment group were able to implement these strategies of inquiry-based learning, and they were also given lots of resources to use as well as technology. They received more computers than the other class, and they had at least 10 different programs that were specifically designed for the lessons that they were teaching to use on their computer and laptops. And also the teachers of the experiment group received 6 hours total of professional development. The study lasted 6 weeks. The first week and the last week were basically set aside for testing. So the first week they did a pre-test, last week they did a post-test, and in between they collected data through teacher interviews, student observations, and videos of the lessons. So through this, the lessons that they decided to teach on were living and non-living seeds and plants and ocean animals. So the teachers as well as the researchers got together and they used some stuff from the already set curriculum in the school, Opening the World of Learning, and chose certain topics from that to use during the specific unit. So both teachers were teaching the same thing, but the experiment group received more professional development and a lot more resources to use throughout the 6 weeks. So I selected this article because it pertains directly to the class. Not only does it discuss math and science concepts, but it really goes in focusing on early childhood education, which is what this class is about. And so I thought it would be a good learning experience for me reading this article, because not only seeing, what ideas are out there, but like seeing what really works best. Like, is there data showing that these types of classroom environments are better for young students? And so I thought that would be interesting to read about. And then how this article pertains to this class. Like I said, it's discussing math, science concepts for these early childhood classrooms, and they even go into some technology usage, which is really cool. And so it it really just is talking about exactly what we're talking about in this whole semester, which I thought was really neat. And then, um, information provided in this article that would enhance my teaching skills or understanding of the development. One thing specifically was the technology part of this lesson. So I do not have my own classroom currently, and I'm not a parent, but I'm around kids all the time. I work with kids and I babysit kids, and technology is a part of their world. And I really did not have a great outlook on it because I've seen a lot of times they're just given an iPad just to give them something to do, and I think that really hurts their social skills. And I don't know, I just didn't really see a lot of benefits from it, but after reading this article, I can see that technology in the classroom and at home can be so beneficial for students, and so that's something going forward that I think I will definitely want to use a lot. But I think the word that I used in this article was appropriately. In the classroom specifically, I think iPads and computers will be great to use, but they should definitely only focus on standards that we're discussing in the classroom or topics that we're discussing. It should not be playing games, stuff like that. But I think students should learn how to use iPads and computers appropriately, and teachers should be able to monitor that usage. At home, I think it's the same way. I think just monitoring and limiting the time students are on it, because I do think students learn so well through play, especially at this age. So I would hate for them to get that taken away just because they use an iPad or computer all the time. And so that's something going forward that I know, because it can be such a great resource when used appropriately. And let's see, studies, findings, and conclusions. So as I said previously, they did a pre-test and a post-test. So both groups scored pretty much showed similar results on the pre-test, but the experiment group outscored the control group on the post-test. So they saw a significant improvement during that 6 weeks. Also, they found that students of low socioeconomic backgrounds made improvements as well, which is something else that they were looking at in this study. And so along with this, not only did the students benefit from it, but the teachers of the experiment group said that they benefited from it as well, because they were getting professional development and they were also learning with the students. And so what I learned from this article, going back to technology has revolutionized the way that teachers teach and things happen. And so technology definitely is something that should not be a burden, but should be used appropriately. And so that's definitely one major thing that I learned from this article. My critique of the article, I really enjoyed reading this article. I think y'all all should go read it. I agree with the results and the methods that the authors used. I really thought that it was the researchers used so many different methods of gathering data, whether that was quantitatively through the test results or teacher interviews and videos and observations. I think all of that together really helped them get a good idea of what the students were learning and how they were learning, and it wasn't necessarily just one-sided, which I thought was great. Something that I would like to see expanded from this would be how the students progress over a few years. And I know that would be pretty challenging and would probably cost a lot of money, but I think it would be worthwhile. What they're learning, is that temporary? Will that only last this year, or is it permanent? Will what they learn during this study affect how they grow and develop over the next few years? So I'm about to run out of time, so I hope y'all enjoyed watching. Thank you, and bye.